we need to talk about Qatar, the fossil fuel rich country that loves playing both sides. On the one hand, Qatar funds extremism, dangerous movements. It funds Al Jazeera with all of the anti Semitism and anti Israel sentiments that carries with it. And on the other hand, it goes and it funds progressive campuses, research. The Emir of Qatar and his family enjoy lavish lifestyles in New York, in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, what have you not. And so Qatar manages to sort of silence the criticism that you might level against it by always taking both sides, even when it comes to dealing with the Jewish people. On the one hand, Qatar is the one that funded Hamas. It is the one that funds Al Jazeera. It is very, very affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood. And yet, on the other hand, Qatar sponsored and paid Jewish organizations, Jewish individuals to create kind of goodwill campaigns to help them give themselves a good image and project an image of tolerance and diversity. And so it's important to know that Qatar is not only a dangerous country, but it's also a country that is extremely deceptive and very successful in deceiving the world into knowing who Qatar is. It's very important to note that if you're an organization that funds something as hateful as Al Jazeera, as Hamas, if you're responsible to much of the terrorism and violence we have seen over the past 15 months, then you cannot be also sponsoring museums and universities. I know they are, but they cannot be regarded as some kind of moderate ally that is part of the is part of the intolerant international community. There's also a huge concern. I'm not going to speak about all the details now because it's under investigation, because Qatar did hire some people who are close to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to sort of butter up their image in the world. And that's a huge scandal. If it's true, the Israeli people will have to reckon with this unforgivable act. Both from the end of Qatar and from the end of Netanyahu. But like I said, much of it is being investigated. You're welcome to Google it. It's pretty shocking and concerning, but that is what they're doing. Another important place where Qatar has played both sides is the painful topic of the hostages, where on the one hand, Qatar tried to promote itself as the mediator that would bring the hostages back. On the other hand, here we are 500 days later, the hostages are not back, and Qatar are also the ones who are supporting Hamas. So how can Qatar be the ones that are supporting Hamas, that are standing with Hamas, that in a way are responsible for the taking of the hostages to begin with by funding Hamas, and yet at the same time they're the ones who are saying, oh look, we're the good guys, we're trying to get the hostages out, we're trying to bring them home. So that's something that you just can't reconcile, you can't allow, and that's something that everyone has to be aware of. Be careful when you have to deal with the whole topic of Qatar, because it's hard for me to even point to an institution or an organization that has not been strategically bribed by Qatar, from universities to politicians and what have you not. So speak out against Qatar. Don't let them mislead you. Don't let them mislead the world. And God willing, we should make sure that we have a world that is free of extremism, where Hamas are defeated, and most importantly, soon we should see all the hostages coming home. Thank you.